Metro Ghetto.
Hey everyone, just wanted to show the games room that I share with my wife. So I just want to have a little quick pan around the room so you can see the bearings for it. So we've got a his and hers setup that we work here daily with. So on one side we've got a backwards compatible PlayStation 3. And then we've got a special edition Spider-Man PS4 Pro, where the cables are actually built into the wall as well, so we don't have any hanging trunking or anything of that sort of kind. On the left here we have the Mega Drive wall. Some of the favourite pieces on here. So I've got one space here sitting waiting for Eliminate Down to come from Strictly Limited Games whenever they decide to send it. But some of my favourite pieces on here. So one of the first big hitters that I ever wanted to get was Maximum Carnage, which I think is in great condition. And then being a big Marvel guy, got some of the big hitters as well from Marvel, which took me a while to get my hands on. On the top row here, we've got the second edition PS3 games with some of the heavy hitters highlighted. So we've got things like 3D Dot Games Heroes. We've got the physical edition of DuckTales and God of War Collection Volume 2. Puppeteer, which is a great game if you haven't played it. It was one of the last ones on the PS3 before the PS4 came out. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions as well as Edge of Time to go with it. And then we've got some of these figures that are on here as well. So The Last of Us, the limited edition version of Metal Gear Rising, which I absolutely love. I love that figure. And then some of the PS4 collection ones that came out over the years. Hard to see in this light, but that nice Vice City logo as well. On the right we've got the Mistress's Shrine to the Little Mermaid. She loves the pops and she loves that film. And then we've got the PlayStation shelf. And a few big hitters in the PlayStation. So Marvel vs. Capcom, Silent Hill. We've got the full big box set for PS4, special editions. Some heavy hitters on the PS5. And then my favourite bit in the whole room is that statue there. The Spider-Man 2 statue. Absolutely amazing. And the God of War Ultimate Trilogy edition, along with Lego Infinity Gauntlet. And then we've got some special edition PS3s down here. So we've got both the editions for The Last of Us. We've got the limited edition version of Metal Gear Solid 4, which I actually have kept since the day it came out. And then the first generation PS3 shelf. And along the bottom here, some more heavy hitters when it comes to PS4, the special edition ones. And then the only on PlayStation set. And then along with Retro Ghetto, I've got myself an Ultimate Spider-Man as well. And then over here we've got Bang & Olufsen DVD Avant 32-inch. Love that television, it's my favourite TV that I own. As well as the consoles along the bottom here. So PS2, modified Wii, Mega Drive 2, a Vita and a PSP. Series X Xbox, Switch, which I've just gotten into, and Xbox 360 as well. And then we've got the TV on the wall as well. hopefully going to get rid of that cable at some point. And just to finish off, what we have underneath here is the start of the Xbox set, so the classics as well as a jailbroken PS4. So yeah, just wanted to show off the room. Thank you very much.
Ghetto. Hey gang, my name is Nikki. Welcome to my modest game room tour. I'm not really sure where to start here, so I'm just going to give you a very brief back history. So as I'm sure many people do, when I first started collecting game stuff, I didn't really know where to narrow my focus, so I ended up collecting a lot of stuff. That collection has slimmed down a lot over the time, where I've kind of focused in on what I really want, and I think I'm almost there in terms of, you know, what systems I want to collect for and what actual hardware I want. There are a few consoles that I just can't bring myself to get rid of, like my Mark I Mega CD. I never had one when I was growing up, but I was so jealous of those that did. I think if I had to pick up my favorite consoles, it would be these two Super Nintendo crates that I have here, the Super Game Boy and the Donkey Kong Country crate. You do see them from time to time on eBay, but they tend to be quite battered. In terms of games though, so Mega Drive is a focus for me. You may notice as I go around the room, I don't have a lot of games, but hopefully the ones that I do have excuse me, are, you know, decent games. I think they are anyway. But I've left myself, you may notice, empty spaces as we're going along and shelves that look a little bit sparse, and that's because I like to leave myself a lot of room for expansion, so I don't have to reorganize every other week. And that's certainly the case here with my 360 shelves and my PS4 shelves. That's something I'm working on right now. These two big empty shelves in the middle here are going to be for Master System and maybe some more Mega Drive. I don't want a lot of Master System games, but there are a few key titles that I'm looking for. I do dedicate this whole row to pretty much Switch stuff. I do collect the super rare games. I'm not after every single one, but I do pick up the ones that interest me, and I've got a few of the collector's editions on the shelves here. The Switch games below that are just your regular releases. You know, there's Sea of Stars, Paper Mario, you know, that kind of stuff. And then the three shelves rather, below that are my limited edition collector's editions. I love these so much, but there's such hard work to find room to display. You know, you may not know, but these two things here are two Switches. You know, but you know, I can only display them a certain way. I do enjoy collecting for Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. Again, I don't have a lot of titles, guys, but I do have some good ones, I think. You know, like the Boktai games, Aria of Sorrow, Demi Kids. You know, some good titles that deserve their spot. Let's put it that way. Super Nintendo is another one I collect for, but again, not a lot of games. You know, it's just those three shelves there, and the same for the N64 below. It's just, I like to think I have refined taste, but maybe you guys will disagree with me. I know that Ghetto disagrees with me when it comes to the N64 titles. One of my big focuses, I love my Nintendo handhelds, and I think it's mainly because I never had one when I was growing up. I did have a Game Gear, which I'll show you in a minute, but I never quite ended up getting a Game Boy. There were a few moments in time when I came close to getting one, but it just didn't happen. So I think I'm making up for that now. I do love my SPs, especially the kind of limited special edition ones. I'm just missing out on the Zelda one. I've not been able to find one that's a decent price and good enough condition. And my 3DSs are something that I really like as well. And then that leads me onto my Pokemon corner here. I do have nearly every Pokemon game. There's a few that I'm missing. There's a few Pokemon handhelds, and there's the Pokemon Switch there, OLED Switch there as well, of course. But you know, I'll get there. It's a work in progress for sure. So this room is pretty small. It's not very big at all. I can't even stand in the corner to show you guys. It's only about 3 by 3. But you know, I do as much as I can with the space that I have here. and that space is constantly evolving, like it is for, I'm sure, most of you guys with your game rooms. I do have one little shelf that goes along the top of my room here. That is my original Game Gear from the 90s with a handful of games. I have a Sega Nomad and a Lynx, and then again I do have a bit of a thing for my limited edition controllers, which I have dotted around the room there. So yeah guys, that is my game room. I hope you enjoyed looking at it, and see you soon. Bye. Retro Ghetto.
Hey gang, it's James or Lethal Brazil Gaming. My game room tour is less of a game room, more of a game corner. As you can see, it's just part of my living room as I'm very limited on space in this house. But I think I've done quite well with the space I do have. So let's get into it. Starting over here. Oh, would you look at that? I've accidentally left it on my trophies. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get out of that. Here's my PS5, the main thing I play on. I do have a PS3 hooked up down here as well, because PS3 is probably my favourite console of all time, so I use that quite regularly. The PS5 does have a HDMI cable behind it, so that if I want to plug it into the big TV and play here, I can, or I can stay on my desk. Coming down here, I have one of my favourite sets to collect for right now, is the Only on PlayStation set. These are all sealed, and they're all the plain backs, not the display backs. I'm currently one away, Shadow of the Colossus. It's actually en route though, I have purchased it, so by the time you're seeing this, I've probably completed the set. Coming around here, my laptop, currently on the Ghetto Gang Discord of course, link probably in the description below. Up here, some lamps, my headphones, my lava lamp, swinging around to some controllers, all charged up. And my PlayStation Portal, a plant, and a custom cup I had made by my partner. My partner got made for me as a gift, which I absolutely love. If we come up here, there's a couple of controllers, a Spider-Man one, Hogwarts Legacy one. I currently have the Astro controller and the Concord controller en route as well. I don't know where I'm going to put them yet, but they're en route. Really cool game here, Super Perils of Bacon. Co-owned Lilimo Games by Colin Moriarty of Last Stand Media, who published this. Super limited physical release. I think it's like 1,000 copies. Or 500, split into two separate things of 500, so that's like X number of 500, all hand signed and everything. Really cool, really rare, really expensive. Up here is Venom from the Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition, the game, the comic book, which I believe was a UK exclusive release. As you can tell, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. My favourite game of all time, Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch. This is the Wizards Edition, which was a grail of mine. I want a better condition one eventually. But for now, this was cheap and I always wanted it, so I had to pick it up. Sea of Stars, fantastic game. That's the special edition of it. Here is my Ni no Kuni variants, so greatest hits, my personal favourite, the Japanese cover, the PS4 remaster, which is sealed, and the double pack of Ni no Kuni 1 and 2. Here's a Kratos figure, Crash Bandicoot, Fallout, Bobblehead, my PlayStation Vita inside an acrylic case, TV, some cool books, and probably my favorite part of my entire display is these consoles. These are all the slim variants, which was just it just happened, it wasn't intentional. But PS1, silver PS2, red PS3, my favorite, and then the Days of Play edition of the PS4. Before I show you the games up on the shelf, let's go down underneath, where unfortunately because of space, I have a lot of storage games. I also have a bunch upstairs. This houses a lot of my platinums, my essentials, and some overspill of like common PS3 games that don't quite cut it for the shelf. Here are the shelves. I have two shelves because, again, space is a premium. But I tried to keep a lot of the best games on there. There's Catherine. Here's a recent pickup from a Ghetto Gang member. Deadpool. Some of my favourite games are up here. Lollipop Chainsaws here. Ni no Kuni is here as well. It's everywhere. Spec Ops Online, which has recently had a bump of value. Truck Racer, and then the HD collections are here. Again, I've got a few of those coming, so I'm close to completing them. Red label at the top. Speaking of red, here's some essentials. And a set that I've recently started off in the gang. the blue PlayStation Move borders. There's 20 of these. It's a pretty cheap and easy set to go for, and I'm almost done already. And like I said, I've got a lot of the gang members on board. So yeah, that's my humble corner. It's not quite as impressive as some of the rooms we've seen. Obviously, I dream to have a room one day, but I like it for what it is. I hope you enjoyed, and take care.
Retro Ghetto.
I love looking at it, love using it. I've got Xbox 360 kiosk, which I picked up out of a random factory in Birmingham. It was an odd buy. We've then got, you know, wrestling figures, Zeldas. I've got a bunch of consoles, bunch of cool figures and collectibles. Goes across to my Mortal Kombat too. Then my biggest buy, I think, is my Time Crisis machine, which I love. Could do with a bigger screen, but for the price, that will do. Then come across to more of my collectibles. I've got a bunch of boxed PlayStations and Xboxes down there. Got my Hot Toys Ed 209 from Sega Surprise, I think I got them from. Got my, well, I am a wrestling fan. More of the like 90s, 2000s though. Got my Eagle Championship. I've then got my PlayStation collection. Bit of Xbox down the bottom, but I might be getting rid of the Xbox One. I'm not really a big fan. Got, as everyone does, display cabinet of games, with the top games. Made a mistake of buying graded games, which is poor. Bought this recently from Sega Supplies, my Batman. I've got my PlayStation TV, Nomad, Game Gear, you know, the general stuff that everyone has. It's I move across to my Xbox 360 collection, which is quite popular at the moment. More toys. Got a Darth Vader Star Wars TV, Street Fighter Edition, a pretty cool DS download station which I got from Vintage Gamer. It's pretty cool. Got it comes with 3 DS's. I've sourced a couple more cards. The first card got Mario on, the Mario demo. It's actually got a playable character that's not in any of the other games, which I'm quite excited to use when I get round to it. My first ever gaming experience, Commodore 64. I used to share that with my 3 brothers. That horrible thing there used to drive me mad. It's literally get up to like 400 or 500 on the counter, it'd crash. I literally bought this yesterday. This is off Vintage Gamer again. Something I always wanted as a kid, but we couldn't really afford it. So I've bought it now. Not sure why, but it looks cool. I've got my Billy bookcase with my doors to protect them a bit more. I've got my NES collection, SNES, Nintendo 64. I won't go down because it gets dark. It's GameCube, Sega Saturn, Master System. Come across to my boxed consoles. So I've been picking up. They're quite cool. I do like the Street Fighter ones. That was my first ever big memory of buying a computer. It was my late mum bought this, and I remember this just for that. It took me a couple of months to find that box, but Nick found it in the end for me, and it means a lot. Out of everything, that's the most thing that I hold on to in this entire game room. Got my Mortal Kombat arcade machine, which I've modded with, I think there's 666 games on there now. Works really well. Got my PS5. Little game watches. My mate did me this yesterday. Little Starbuck, which I love. Got just a few consoles I play. My hard mod Xbox, which I emulate off a lot. But it's like my little Stargate. I've got my N64 collection and my Switch underneath. Then I come across to my Star Wars pinball machine and my Call of Duty Juggernaut fridge, which is pretty cool. I picked up my limited one Shredder's Revenge. And I've got my Mega Drive wall. And I've got my PS3. All these PS4s are sealed because I've got such a massive digital collection. I didn't need to. But that's my room. Well, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Retro Ghetto.
Hi all, just want to take you on a quick tour of the games room here. I'll start over in this corner. So this is the main gaming wall I've got here. Starting at the very top, I've got a lot of big box PC. I was massive into PC gaming back in the early to mid 90s. Championship Manager was a favourite of mine. I remember picking that up just losing so many days to that, evenings, late nights, early mornings. Probably should have been doing a lot more revision and homework, but Championship Manager won out. It's great to be able to still sort of pick those up. They're really hard to find on eBay. Lots of other big box PC games again from back in the day. I've moved my Xbox One over here, and you'll see why when we get across to the Xbox 360 wall. But I do love Sega. Got a lot of Sega Master System, Mega Drive, and a few Genesis ones thrown in the mix as well. I was a massive Sega fan back in the day. Master System was my first ever console. I did have a Super Nintendo, but I just didn't. For me, I was always into Mega Drive. I've got an older brother who loved Sega as well, so that always helped. And then I've got my PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, which everyone seems to have a lot of PlayStation 2. It just was the easiest console to pick up games for, I think, and probably still is. And then some of the more modern into the PS3 piece there. Movies down the bottom, and some DVDs and Blu-rays. And then, of course, magazines. And the Retro Gamer magazine, which got the full set of those. I only picked up the last one that I was missing recently, but they do take up a lot of room. And then moving out a bit further, I've got my, right at the very top, my Nintendo cardboard for my consoles. Flicking across here, this is the arcade here, and then I've got a lot of more modern Master of the Universe, but based on the sort of the original figures that I used to collect as a kid. My daughter's really got into them as well recently, which is great. And then a lot of the movie figures as well. I love the movie. Again, it's you either like it or you hate it, but I do love the movie. The arcade machine is custom made. Used to be the kits that you could buy and put the artwork on, and it's a PC that's running that, so it's running pretty much everything up to about a PlayStation 3. On here, I've got currently got my Super Nintendo plugged in, and they're all plugged in. I can just switch them on, and whichever console comes on, using these switches here. And I'm sure all of you are familiar with good ways of getting the older consoles out onto more modern TVs. And again, all my consoles, Xbox, there's a bit of Nintendo there. Got a Neo Geo, which I absolutely loved and certainly couldn't have afforded back in the day. And then the Nintendo and Sony consoles, and some of the more modern ones up at the top there as well. Some of the minis, and again, just ways that I'm able to, with the HDMI switches, be able to get them all up on the telly there. And of course the CRT, which is probably looking awful on this recording, but it looks fine. And I've got Wonder Boy running on that. And then my Star Wars wall. So I've just been going crazy on Star Wars. I decided to collect just my favourite character, which is the Emperor. So I went a bit mad on the Emperor. So a lot of the figures I've got are of him. The bad guys are always a bit better, aren't they? It's always the bad guys that tend to be always find better, especially when you get older. And then looking across here, I've got my gaming PC and my desk that I work at. My custom built machine underneath. I used to build PCs, so it's nice to be able to every now and then do that and keep my hand in there. And then this is the main sort of Xbox wall here. I've got roughly 620 Xbox 360 games and about 120 Xbox original games as well there. So again, it's nice to have a good section of those. I like keeping the prices on because it just shows you how much they've gone up. Alien Breed, £8. I know that's gone up a lot recently. So a bit of Lego and aliens at the top of my special editions. But yeah, this is the games room. A bit more figures up there, Batman and some Marvel, and then my Sega box. I've got all the boxes for all the consoles, but I just haven't got room to display them here. I've got a sort of like a bar here in the middle where I used to put them on, but it just looks a bit messy. So yeah, this is where I'm normally chilling out, watching all my videos and films, playing my games. You know, if you're getting a gaming night, it's really good. There's plenty of room for people. So yeah, hope you enjoy the tour, and yeah, keep tuning into the Retro Ghetto. Definitely the best channel out there.
Retro Ghetto.
Okay, I've been asked for a very long time to do a game room tour. Don't expect anything great. Everyone thinks there's going to be gold in here or something. There isn't. Let's get in through the door. Yeah, go old school. The old, whatever that is, shoe holder on the back of a door. Up here we've got a load of Wii U, some Masters and Watch, a couple of pops and things. I do collect like Ghostbusters stuff, so there's stuff all around there. We'll come down here first. There's a few bits. So this is how small the room is. I can't actually get all this in film. We come down. We've got like Vita stuff. That's 3 rows deep. That's the problem with my game room. Most of this stuff you can't see. Like if I was to move all that, it just keeps going back and back, and it's dark in here. So then we come down here. We've got like some NES. Actually, let's have a look, see if we can see anything interesting. Aqua Kitty's a weird one. It's like a furry based Defender. Bastion, good game. Castlevania, Breach and Clear is pretty big hitter on the PS Vita. Child Light's a good one. Yeah, I'm not good at this kind of thing. But yeah, we're coming down for the NES stuff. What we got? We've got Action in New York, very good game. Anticipation, that's a hard one to find for PAL collectors. Back Your Hair, Blue Shadow. I've been playing the remake of that. Suck at it. I used to be able to beat that one like all the time. But yeah, remake, 40 minutes a level. DuckTales, Gargoyles Quest 2. So that's a decent one. Ghostbusters. I don't know, Gunsmoke's a good game. Prince Valiant, my literal nemesis. Look, there he is. It was my favourite NES game, so I've also got a boxed copy of Blue Shadow. A really nice boxed copy, that is. So yeah, a couple of boxed NES games, not many. Dead Tomb is a limited run release. Then down here we've got loads of PS1 stuff. These are only 2 deep, so you probably won't see a great deal of anything interesting in here. There's also PS1 behind all that lot. Breath of Fire games. What else we got down here? Kingsley's Adventure. That's a really good little platformer. Jade Cocoon. Hogs of War. Hell Knight, that's a big hitter on the PS1. Gun Gauge is pretty good. It's like a action shooter. For some reason I have a Lego, well, a knockoff Lego Husky there. So we'll move past that. See, I'd have to pull all this stuff out. Like, if you want to see anything decent behind it, I'd have to start pulling it all out, because it's all behind there as well. Bubsy 3D. No, that's not good, is it? What we've got on the bottom shelf that you can see. I can't really see it from here. Table. Tombi games. I don't know. Nightmare Creature is one I've just recently beat. No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. That's a strange game. All the Resident Evils. I don't know. See, it's not going to work well. There's Silent Hill over there. There should be Silent Hill somewhere, the platinum one next to it. But it might have made its way behind. I don't know. But we'll come back over. We've got the PS4 stuff. See, it's hard for me to get any view in here because the lighting is absolutely dreadful. See if there's anything that's... Narcosis, one I've not played yet. That's a... like a horror... I think it's a walking simulator underwater horror game. Yeah, you can't really see anything in here. I feel really bad about it. Cat Quest games. Just play them. Really good. Boxville, that's a pretty obscure one by a company called Limited Legacy Games. I think it's their only one they've ever shipped. They do have 2 other games, but that's the only one that's ever turned up. There's the limited rare set. Baboon, I think that's like a Spanish exclusive. Same as Dogchild, which is here somewhere. There's Dogchild. DJ Max, that's, if you like rhythm games, really good game. The physical is only available from Asia, I think. I've never opened Do Not Open, because it tells you on the case, do not open it. Halloween Forever. That it's sort of like NES style platformer, like a horror, like Halloween themed one. But yeah, it went a bit mad in price at one point. Come down here, what we got? Do I have a spot anything interesting? Panda Hero. That's a weird game. That's a really, really bad platformer. That Cuckoo's game's weird as well. This is probably the worst filming. I don't usually film shelves and stuff. I'll move that, because that's supposed to be right up the top there in that collector's edition. But I've been too lazy to get it down, which is the coolest collector's edition I've ever seen. Resident Evil Revenge of the Bird King. There's 2 copies of it there. Yeah. If you know, you know. Sakuna Rice Ruin. People seem to like that. Shadow of the Beast. That's a bit of an obscure PS4 game. Well, for a physical anyway. So yeah, got an alright selection of PS4 stuff. I don't know if this footage is going to be any good, but we'll find out. And right down the bottom, a couple more, just to end it. I really like World to the West was a decent game. So Yonder the Cloudcatcher Chronicles, but not for everyone. A couple of weird collector's edition. Morbid, that's a good one. They got like the big box version of Streets of Rage 4. We'll scoot it over a bit. Then we got with PSP games like Third Birthday and stuff. Nothing. I haven't got anything too crazy on the PSP, I don't think. Oh, I haven't straightened these up. Gran Turismo's off. Skew whiff. Never mind. Then we go into box Link stuff. I do have a lot of like Link stuff. This bit of an obscure one. It's the Tour Plan collection for the Mega Drive. So yeah, you got what was it? Trucks and Hellfire, Fire Shark, and Zero Wing in there. But yeah, I don't collect many pops, but that Big Daddy and that's pretty good. Spin it around. This is where I keep my entire Xbox 360 collection. Doesn't look like it, but these are these are like 3 deep. Again, I can't show you any further than the second layer really. There's some pretty big hitters in here. You know, Seekers of Adulin, is that how it's pronounced? I never know how it's pronounced. But yeah, that is a surprisingly hard game to find. Pull it out without making too much of a mess. Random Xbox One game here. Rock Band 4, but with the adapter, like Legacy adapter. Lets you play with old instruments. I think that's gone kind of crazy in value. Yeah, we got all the good, great ones. My Horse and Me 2. Mayhem's a bit of an odd one on the 360. In there I'm hiding a few pickups, so you can't see them. Morphex, the only game to make me throw up. I like this like obscure American exclusive like NASCAR. That Naughty Bear is an American exclusive. The gold edition's got the DLC. This might be longer than I wanted this video to be, sorry. I don't know, I can't get it all in. Rocksmith, love those games. As you can tell, I don't really film shelves. I'm going to have to move some stuff out of the way. A few more down there. X-Blades, the one that came before Blades of Time. Down there I've got like imports, the end of the collection, stuff that hasn't been filed yet anywhere. Zelda GameCube. More of the things for that aero thing. Gotta try and keep the moisture out in here. I live very close to the sea. All these boxes under here, they're full of cartridges. So yeah, it's just all, I think that's SNES cartridges in there. I'm not going to pull that out. That's an American transformer, which is used for things like that American Super Nintendo that's up there. It's gone very, very yellow. Yeah, a couple of box consoles, Jaguar, Super Nintendo. There's a Xeno, what is it? Xenoblade Wii U up there. Up here we've got more. We've got like Neo Geo Pocket Color. That limited run only contains extra limited run cards, a random Disney Infinity 32X. We'll come across here. We've got where I keep my Mega CD stuff. That thing looks very dirty on camera. I need to clean that. It doesn't in real life. Any big hitters on here? Probably the biggest hitter for this is, when I can find it, not the Terminator. Theme Park. Theme Park on the Mega CD is surprisingly difficult to come by. Yeah, we've got a few more up there, all that kind of stuff. That currently holds that manky, whatever the hell that thing is I bought, Silent Hill Steelbook, that came real bad. Analog pocket boxes, a load of boxed Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, 32X. So again, all of this is too deep. So if I move this out, that's a little weird little Game Boy I made the other day. Yeah, it's all my Super Nintendo box stuff is behind there. Also my Neo Geo Pocket Color stuff's behind there as well. We can scoot it down a bit. Got Mega Drive, again, too deep. You can see behind there's more of them. Mega Turrican's probably my biggest hit in Mega Drive game, I think. Let me scoot it down. We got original Xbox behind there, and the rest of the Mega Drive. Continue with the original Xbox. Then goes down into Xbox One. Biomutant is a very underrated game, I think. But yeah, I can't remember what's behind all of that. Obscure, pretty good game. Again, more Xbox One. So all too deep, so you can't really see any of it. Then we'll scoot along to the next shelf. Oh, when I can get to it. So yeah, well, we had the 32X stuff. There's more stuff up there. Don't ask why I've got a random Build a Robot. A Jack X Collector's Edition for, yeah, Jack X. You can get all of those in like book form. I've never opened that one. That's more cartridges up in that box up there. Right, so we move down. We've got all this N64 stuff again. Too deep on N64 boxes. I have to sit down for this. They come down. There's a Japanese modded N64. In there you got like Sin and Punishment, a couple of things. Got Zelda Wii U with 2 pads, one behind it as well. More N64 stuff. We scoot down to the tiny wall of Wii. Nothing crazy in there. What we got, like Calling. That's quite hard to come by. Horror game. Uses the Wiimote like a phone. A couple of Pokemon games. Sun is still sealed. It's a bit of a mishmash, but yes, this does follow on from the Xbox One stuff over there again. As I said, all too deep, so you can't really see what's behind any of it. But yeah, you can kind of see that there is stuff behind. We'll scoot it down again. There's a chair in the way. This room is so tiny, so scoot it down. So we got all the PS3 stuff. I don't own that much PS3 stuff anymore. Siren Blood Curse is a good one. I do have some big hitting stuff in there, but I don't know. Yakuza Dead Souls over there. Underneath is very dusty. Is that dusty? No, it's just broken. Demon Souls. Yakuza. Yeah. Then we get right down to the bottom, which is Wii stuff and a random, not Wii stuff, Switch stuff. Random Senran Kagura. I can't remember which one that is. Is it Peach Beach Splash or something? I don't know. Random 360 Collector's Edition down there. It's the Velvet Edition again. All this is too deep with Collector's Editions. I don't really have that much Switch stuff. Let me move this guitar out of the way. There's a couple of alright priced stuff in there. But yeah, I literally don't have the room to be able to get down here and show you everything that's down here. Again, these boxes, one of these is full of Game Boy games, one of them's full of Game Gear games. There's random things there. There's random. I've got so many DS's, it's not funny. That is a folder full of limited run cards. That down there is a Lynx in a box with more games in it. There's a Thrustmaster steering wheel, box from Mega Drive there. We'll move up to the PS2 stuff, which you can't see because it's under a load of stuff. I don't know if there's anything of note worth saying down there. I don't know. These ones aren't in alphabetical order. I've been too lazy to do it. I have to keep moving this guitar out of the way. This is gonna give a motion sickness. Sorry for swearing. Please bleep that. So yeah, these again too deep. All of these. So you can't really see them. Scoot up here a bit more. More PS2 stuff. Gungrave. Tengai is a pretty good shooter. Not very good at it. Fallen Stars, one of the worst games I've ever played. Kami. I'm trying to do this quickly so you can see stuff. But yeah, we got some more big hitting. This is my horror shelf. So what we got, it's going to be real zoomed in, sorry, because I can't get any further back than that. Silent Hill Collection, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill... Yeah, that's the single disc edition Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 2 Director's Cut, Silent Hill 2 the bigger box, 3, 4 Japanese horror games, Rule of Rose, Michigan Report from Hell, which is still sealed, Echo Knight, Kuon, Haunting Ground, Blood Will Tell is a very good game, some Resident Evils. As I said, I'll pull these out so you can see they are all double stacked. So anything which kind of Sony put under their horror list is in there. A few more up here. Some other good ones. We've got Drakengard games, Atelier games. I don't know. Up there is just literally more boxes full of cartridges. A random 99 Vitas, collector's edition for the Vita, and a limited run copy of collector's edition of Senka no Ronde 2, which is not a game I like. Then we got over here, we got some 3DS, some GameCube. More GameCube. I got my Boglin. It's where it's what my little computer desk area is. That is the Mumak or whatever it is from Lord of the Rings that I was painting. He's been there a very long time. He's very dusty. I need to finish him off. We got some more stuff over here. Bit of a horse game at the top. More Cube. So yeah, everyone has... Ignore my cable management in a minute. It is dreadful. We've got this little collector's kind of area over here. So we've got the Shantae games. There's a Ghostbusters game up there. That behind there is a signed Enter Shikari poster. We've got Meat Boy Collector's Edition. A load of like Vita stuff as well. Rose in the Twilight Side to come by. Muramasa Rebirth. I've never played Guns, Gore and Cannelloni 2. It's supposed to be pretty good though. Some more bits in there where I keep my light because it's to light when I'm doing any videos. Random Sonics and Pokemon. By the way, all this stuff is held up by Dreamcast games, so that's that's how they're staggered. The whole unit is Dreamcast at the back. I know, it's blasphemy. Some more Pokemon stuff, some more Vita stuff. Random pops. Behind there we got, yeah, PlayAsia exclusives. Now it's really hard to see where I got all my gaming set up. So I've got all consoles down there. There's a Saturn under there as well somewhere. PS2, GameCube, PS3, PS4 with a VR, with a PS TV on top. Again, these look pretty dusty. I do have a Mega Drive 1, but I leave the Mega Drive 2 on there to annoy people. where I keep boxes and stuff. Currently charging a PS4 controller. Xbox One, an original Xbox under there as well. This looks like it's a fire hazard, but this stuff isn't on all at the same time. I like just switch out consoles that I'm using until I'm gonna have a bigger game room, but at one point I just need to build it. Some more DS stuff over here, a bit of American DS with the thing. Need to find something to put in there. Oh, that was it Soul something, that GBA game there. I do have more GBA games all boxed in a cupboard outside of the room, but we're not going to go that far. So yeah, more Cube. Can't get any further down. So yeah, that's it. That is my game room. It's tiny, but I've squeezed a lot into a tiny little space. I don't know, this video is way longer than it should have been. Never mind. There's a little bit of a pan for you. I also need to add, this isn't where I do all of my gaming. Like, this is more just game storage in a way, rather than like a room where I play everything. It's because I play most of my modern stuff, Series X, PS5, all that downstairs. And down there I've got like a racing rig and stuff as well set up, but I can't really get in the way and start bugging people by going downstairs and filming stuff. So yeah, basically just an area of storage. So right, have fun. Bye.
Retro Ghetto.
Hey everyone, this is Ben, or Uncle Benny on the Discord. Please excuse my husky, sexy voice. It's not normally this husky or this sexy. I've got a bit of a cough. Now, thanks for Callum for letting me show off my games room, or my game space. Now, if you're wondering, it's a valid question. If this is the game space, where are the games? Then let me show you. As you can see, I'm working with limited space here. So I've just got this one alcove in the corner of our bedroom, and we agreed this would be my corner. And we were originally just going to have basically a cabinet built into this alcove, just a set of shelves to fit the space, because you can't really buy anything that would fit. And then my wife had the idea of having this folding system. You can see it's all on hinges all the way through, so it swings out. And it didn't used to squeak until I put all the games on it. Now it does. And now I'm just amazed with it. I'm so happy with how it all worked out. It's what I've always wanted, and I've never really been able to have. Most of my games that you've just been kept in bags for decades. And there's really been sort of two stages to my game collecting, sort of pre and post kids. You know, I built up a collection of just games that I wanted to buy before kids came along, and then kids came along, and that put everything on hold for ages, nowhere to put anything. And then after coming across the Retro Ghetto videos on YouTube one day, and I just started visiting charity shops and buying to trade in and that kind of stuff. And that's how all stuff started off again, so my collection's kind of taken right off again. So I'll give you a quick show. Of course, it happened when a sexy lady happens to be on screen. This is Skydive Arcadia Legends, one of the greatest games ever made. I picked this TV up off Facebook for 25 quid, so that was a great deal. It's a brilliant little TV. I've currently got it hooked up to the GameCube. You can see that's my original GameCube. You'll see from the amount of yellowing on it, you'll see the space where the Wavebird adapter would sit normally. I've also got my Mega Drive hooked up via the OSSC, that's an upscaler. This is my Halo shelf. Halo's one of my favourite franchises, so I'm trying to get all the special editions from that. I'm only really a few short, one of which is the ODST, which is like a blister pack with a controller, but that's really expensive. Metal Gear Rising, I actually saw this on Liquid Tunes, which I think was the first Ghetto Gangs game room tour. And ever since then I wanted it. I managed to pick it up on eBay at a good price, sealed. That's the Metal Gear Solid Premium Edition. I've had that for years. It's missing the dog tag, so you know, if anyone happens to have a pair of Metal Gear dog tags they want to give to me, that'd be great.
This is my little display stand, so that's where I put my games I'm playing now. This was 3D printed by someone in the gang that very generously gave it to me. Astro Wars I picked up in a bundle. Oh, I'll just say I've got this drawer here underneath. It's just sort of keep storage, spare cases, loose bits, protective cases. This is my special edition shelf. I'd love to have it all front facing, I can't, but it's nice to have them all sort of out and about. With some of my favourites being Streets of Rage, which is one of my favourite all-time franchises. Return of the Obra Dinn, which is a limited run release. I managed to pick it up on eBay. It was probably cheaper than buying it new, and it was still sealed. I think someone had bought it to resell, and it just hadn't sold, so I got it for a good price. You should all play Return to the Obra Dinn. You should also all play Outer Wilds. If you take one thing from this video, it's that you should play both of those. Hyperlight Drifter as well is also a fantastic game. And they're all easily available digitally. The physical editions aren't so easy to get. Outer Wilds has actually just come out on PS5, so that is, but Hyperlight Drift is quite difficult to get. I mean, Return to Obra Dinn is, but you can easily download them for a good price. My little Mega Drive and N64 collection. Streets of Rage is one of my all-time favourites. I haven't got the first one yet, and that's purely because I want to get the best copy I can, because it was one of the first games I was ever given. It's the only game my parents ever played for me, even though my mum actually just stood there while I sort of run around and protected her, doing the idol animation where Blaze, the female character, brushed their hair. These alcoves, I don't really know what to do with them at the minute. They've just got some Game Boy games in now. I've got my little growing 2DS, 3DS console collection, which I didn't mean to start, so both of these I picked up on Facebook. So there's the box 2DX Pokeball one, and that Pikachu one I picked up for 50 quid. It's not boxed or anything, but it was too good a price. And my original plan was to sort of flip them on, but they just look so good. I'm strongly considering keeping them. And I've only got one 3DS game, Legend of Zelda, but I'm looking to build that up. Here's my Game Boy selection. These are my original Pokemon games, so I bought all these sort of new when I was younger, and I've still got them. The ESRB, red and silver, but red I picked up on holiday. Silver was import from, you'll see there, still got the sticker on, Microshack of Rochdale. RIP, nothing lasts long in Rochdale, I'm afraid. Microshack is no longer with us, but it was a great shop when it was still there. Then that's my original Game Boys, you'll see from the lack of screen, my original Game Boy Advance. My Xbox, I was a big Xbox collector even before I started this, so most of this is stuff I already owned. The GameCube is very similar. I have added a decent amount actually to the GameCube. So stuff like Lost Kingdoms I did used to own, I had to rebuy that. Lost Kingdom 2, Pokemon Colosseum, Twin Snakes, and then my probably most expensive game is Chibi Robo. I picked that up from Doorway to Darkness recently. Apparently a guy brought it in. It's mint. Basically never been touched. Apparently the guy had two of them and brought it in just to fin out his collection, as you do. And I also picked up a Dharma recently, which I just love for the box art. I love the idea of walking into a shop, looking at that box and just thinking, what is going on with this? What is happening? And if you explain it, it doesn't really get any clearer because it's a voice-controlled pinball game, but also there's an RTS element. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this is my 360. This was that's probably my biggest collection before I started expanding, and it's only gotten bigger. I love the 360. It was the console that my friends all had sort of post uni and in uni. I picked up quite a few things as prices were going up, like Infernal, Hell's Vengeance was harder to get. There's quite a lot of them in now. Painkiller, that is still reasonably hard to get. This copy of Never Dead is sealed. I still see. I will open that at some point because I do want to play it, but it was like a brand new game. Someone on the Lewis on the Discord pointed that out to all of us. So a few of us picked that up. Splatterhouse I picked up before it really ramped up in price. But there's some of these I owned already, like Transformers, Fall of Cybertron. I had Transformers War of Cybertron. I had a massive debacle to get. Every time I picked up a copy, it was in Spanish, or it was a promotional version, or it was in Spanish again. It was mad. I don't have much on the Wii U. PlayStation 1, I'm in a similar situation to Callum in that most of my PlayStation 1 games were copies. I had a chipped PlayStation 1. The only one that's original is Future Cop, which is a great game. I don't know how this survived, really. I can't remember where it went or how, but somehow I still have it. Got my copy of Jackie Chan. I did pay 160 like that, but it was in vouchers, which is just fun money. Parasite Eve 2, I found that in a charity shop, in the back of a charity shop. Later turned out that they weren't supposed to sell it to me, and it caused a kerfuffle. Yeah, the Tomb Raider, my wife's a massive fan of Tomb Raider and Silent Hill, so the Silent Hill up there is hers, the Tomb Raiders are all hers. And my PS2, I love my PS2 collection. Guitar Man is, if you like a rhythm and action game, you should play Guitar Man. I picked this up before. Again, this is part of my original collection, and I also imported the soundtrack, because it's just a fantastic game. And the Silent Hill again, yes. My wife's PS3, not particularly fancy. And then Dreamcast, that was probably the first thing I really did much collecting on when I was younger. I sort of bought quite a lot of physical games, went out every week and was buying like all sorts to play. So I picked up the controller, and that's the fishing rod. And then Xenoblade Chronicles is largely just there because that's where it fits. Yeah, so thank you very much, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed seeing my little corner of the world.
Retro Ghetto.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my game room. I'll start by showing you some of my video games that I own. It's not a vast collection, I have to be honest, but I've just started out collecting, so I'm collecting the ones that I want to collect. So some of the PS1 games. I grew up with the PS1, first ever console, which is literally just down there. This is actually my my childhood copy. The only childhood copy that I have in my collection, because I had to pretty much trade in the games to then get a new one. I really enjoy the Borderlands games, played them all, got all the achievements. And some Xbox 360 games down here, like the Doom Steelbook for the original Xbox. I do have a few more games in the loft, but I don't have space right now. I am planning to put shelves like up here so I can display some games. Right, this is the from the Deadpool film. It's now used as a bin, but my main collection is mainly Batman and Joker figures. That's how I started off, like the collection addiction. And this is probably one of my main statues. We have the Samsung Curve G8 there that I play on all my games on. I have an Xbox Series X. I do have the PS5 downstairs that we use for like films and stuff like that. Deadpool statue figure there. And I do have some Batman films, The Dark Knight being my favourite, as you can see. And a few Batman games there. This is one that you don't really see often. Yeah. This one's a cool steelbook too. Now we move over to the glass cabinets. This Last of Us Firefly edition is signed by Troy Baker, as you can see there. One of my favourite voice actors in video games. He also did the Joker as well in video games. The Halo helmet from Halo 3, the Legendary Edition. I love that thing. The flask from Alan Wake. I think it was only a thing that came out in Finland, but I managed to get one. Dark Souls. A few
like limited editions, special editions, Doom on the Game Boy Advance there, and some steelbooks, if I could show you. There we have the Final Fantasy, Hogwarts, Spider-Man, Witcher. So yeah, it's not the biggest of game rooms, so I sort of had to deal with the space that I have. And also we have here the secret lab desk that is obviously Batman Dark Knight edition. And up here we have some more figures, Spider-Man controller. Yeah. And onto the main collection is the Joker stuff, Joker statues, comics at the back there, the animated Joker. Now this is probably my favourite item in the collection. This was given out in a San Diego Comic Con when the Dark Knight film came out, and I think there's only like 2,000 of them, but that's all I know. I haven't seen any others online anywhere for sale, so not sure. Some other figures here, Warner Brothers statue, and then some Star Wars stuff, Boba Fett, and other items there. So, and I do my gaming on the Joker Secret Lab chair, to show you. It's one of the main items that gets talked about when people come around and see. They enjoy the chair. And here we have some canvases. The Division 2 poster. Love that game. Hopefully they bring out a third one. And the first thing I ever bought was this canvas. It's just very nice. So, thank you everybody for viewing my game room